actually found this platform on social media and from a complete stranger. So if someone invited you here tonight and they're a stranger, just someone you met on social media, you've never met them in person, man, what a blessing that person became to my life. I actually, when I saw that post on social media that attracted me to come see the information, I was in a very dark place in my life. In 2017, I went through a divorce. It wasn't a pretty one. Right. That was the father of my son, and I saw us separating through that whole thing. And we had a house and we had built, a life together and all of our bills together. And unfortunately with that divorce, everything got split. Right. So 2 incomes to one, I was left with everything. I remember crying every night. I remember looking out the window and seeing my son sleep. Like, I felt like a failure as a mom. How many of you guys can relate, right? I had no savings, didn't budget, didn't have life insurance. I didn't know anything about financial literacy. And I was 2 months behind on my mortgage. I was selling my furniture just to make ends meet. Insurance, right? Being able to build a business, become a boss. Like, I was just so fascinated by it. But of course, I was scared. I was skeptical. I had just went through a bankruptcy. My credit score was a 514 credit score. So I know I needed the services. But it was the second half that I I couldn't sleep at night thinking about it, right? Because I started to ask questions. So I got started and I saw a 196 point increase on my credit. I had 64 negative items deleted, including my Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And I still didn't know what was going on. All I know is I signed up for this program. Like I said, I had to scrape up the money because I was already struggling, but I knew I needed to change something. So I made the decision and I saw those results. And when I started to share my results with close friends, little by little, they're like, girl, I need that. Because 9 credit score or less, and we're embarrassed because we think we're the only ones. And so I started to share, hey, look at what this program's doing for me. And they started to open up. And I started to say, you know what? So the seed was already planted of like, hey, you can really build the business with this. So I went back to the guy that invited me. I said, man, I've seen these amazing results. I know I can help my community. At that time, I was moving from Florida. I remember this so clearly. I was moving from Florida all the way to Massachusetts with whatever I had left in the truck. So you guys can only imagine my mindset going back after moving to Florida, buying a house, feeling like a complete failure, just bringing whatever I had left to Massachusetts. I made the decision to start this business.